Good evening. It's 8:30. We're on episode 72. I've got the date right this week because last week I wrote, I think, 14th of September. People messaging me going, "Wait, what? Did I miss something?" It's the 21st of October today. It's not September, but hi, everybody. How you doing? Mother Baker's there. Blind Chocolatier. Hi, Stuart. How's the Christmas prep going, you guys? Ron's there. Hi, Ron. Paula, who I will see in a couple of days' time. Maggie's there. Erin, how you all doing? It's the whole Chocky Chat crew tonight, isn't it? Do you know, I've had one of those days. You ever have those days where whatever you touch, you wear? So I think I'm on like jacket number 3 today. It's been one of those days. I just, yeah, you know, you have those clumsy days, right? So what I could throw on the floor today, pretty much thrown on the floor today. So I've had to clean the microwave twice. I dropped 2 bowls of chocolate. I've worn most of it, but you know what? It's Friday, it's Chocky Chat. How's everybody doing? Nadia, tell us about... Nadia, how did it go? It sounds like you had an absolutely amazing time. And it was a show you did, wasn't it? Kelly Wessels there. Hi, Kelly. You're anyone from Denver area? You're in for the weekend. Anybody in Denver, let Kelly know she's in town. Billy's there. Hi, Billy. So who else have we got? Joachim and Sophia. How you doing? You're posting 80/70 chocolate. You're posting some lovely stuff. You really kind of ramp things up, right? So they are going for it. So everybody's posting some really amazing stuff this week. Really fascinating. Really inspiring. Vitamin P Chocolates. Hello, Jessica there and Alaska. Yeah, Nadia, you post some lovely stuff. Really lovely stuff. So, Stuart slightly orange sprayed loads of colour when the yeah. Do you know what I do that with? Red. Seems whenever I'm spraying red, there's one order that I have to do and spray a lot of red because I'm in a hurry to cut up the pressure a little bit, but you get all the blowback. I end up with, or worse, you know, where I lean on here and there's colour, I end up walking around. I've got like blue, yellow, green, and bronze Adonis or copper elbow. So, Chocolate Miss Sweet. Hi. Who else have we got? Paul Jaggers there. Hi, Paul. How you doing? And Lee. God, we've got a whole crew tonight, haven't we? So, JC Chocolates. Challen Island Chocolates as well. Hello. Finally here on time. Absolutely fine. I tell you what I'm going to do this week. I stopped for no reason other than probably my laziness. Hands up. I stopped posting to YouTube, so I'm going to start doing that. So when we finish tonight, I'm going to post this to Instagram as normal, and then I'm going to load it up onto YouTube because I know there's a lot of people messaged me and said they prefer to just like load it because they can see it a little bit clearer. Rather than sit with a handheld device. And it's very obvious to me, looking at the analytics, how many people catch up with this on a Sunday. So I will do that, and I will get my act together and make sure it's posted onto YouTube as well. So yeah, Nadia, first pop-up ever, and it was a wonderful experience. Yeah, it's good. Get yourself, I've said this so many times, right? And I know it can cause, and Maggie and I talked about this last week, I know it can cause a little bit of anxiety and what do you do, but do you know, if you're passionate what you make, put yourself in front of other human beings and just talk about your products. You don't have to tell all the other stories, but you will ease into it, and you'll be amazed how much people will engage with you. And when you do, we call it face-to-face sales, but whether it's markets, whether it's events, whether it's shows, whatever it is, never miss the opportunity to actually sit in front of a human being. Because online sales, they're great and they're kind of a top-up thing, right? Going actually facing human beings and being able to talk about what you do and what you like and the passion of what you have, it sells. It really does. So, who says Zoe's there? Hello, party people. Joined the wrong account first. Did you? Do you have more than one account? Yeah, everybody likes chocolate. Do you know what's amazing? And I'm sure lots of you have experienced this. You know when you open a box and people people haven't seen what. So with the bonbon, I'll give you an example now, right? I do various collections. You know what I do, all right? And when God, I can't get this open. What's happened here? Oh, who's taped that up? Can't get the box open. Or is this not one for selling? God, this has been stuck down well. Scissors. You know when you open a box up and people go, are they chocolate? There we go. God, is that being sellotaped on 4 sides? When people see them, and for us, we've seen all this before, right? So this is not a new thing for us, and we look at other channels and we look at what other things that are going on, and actually, when you go and see the public, and I face this every single week, people are like, are they chocolate? What have you done to make them shiny? How do you get all the colours on there? They've never really seen them, and people light up. People really light up, and it's quite a fascinating thing to watch. That Nadia will have felt that this week, that people come over and go, oh my God, wow. We're always very analytical of what we make. Me more than any, I'm not always truly in love with what I make. I know I can do better. I'm not looking for perfection. That doesn't exist. I am looking for progress. But it's lovely when you actually sit in front of people, or you stand in front of people and you get to sell your product. It's very encouraging to hear that feedback. Actually, I would encourage anybody to seek those events out, whether you go and do a talk, whether you go do shows or what have you. It's always a nice thing. Stuart works in a shop, so for him, he's used to it. People come in and go, oh my God, wow, these chocolates. For us, it's an everyday thing that we see. For a lot of people, and I see hundreds and hundreds every week, they've never seen this, and that always baffles me as to why have you never seen this? I thought it was quite a common thing, but clearly not. But go for it. Go and see people. Leslie Marshall, hi Leslie. Leslie, you posted some lovely stuff this week. I put my daughter to sleep and literally snuck out so I can make it on time. That's okay. I love some of the comments on here. So far it's been lights out, did all the testing, now it's time to put in a shell. I'm very excited, so all good. Can you update the Reels series playlist as well? I can. The vitamin P, I can. Do you know what happened is Instagram moved it. So where I had the series, and I used to post the series of videos, they got rid of that now. So you don't have videos, you have stories. There are stories, reels, or posts. So they got rid of the series, so I don't have access to that now. So I will post everything back onto YouTube, and then from last week onwards, they will be in order. And I'll make sure that I do that. I've said to the girls, you need to remind me to do that when I come off. So I'm finally getting a big worktop and kitchen furniture delivered to my workshop tomorrow. Super excited. Result. Yeah, do you know what? You need space. It doesn't matter how much space you have, you'll never have enough. You never ever will have enough. I think you just need to keep your space organised and not let the clutter build up, right? It says, my shelf's bursting. We're trying to find a home for a lot of this, although it's stock's going down slowly. So yeah, happy days. I think you know, that first space, when you get tables and when you get all those bits and pieces, it moves around as well. I think that's the other thing. You start looking at different ways that you can have stuff, or you realise you get a bigger order and you're like, I need more room, I need more space. I've worked in massive kitchens. I've worked in kitchens where, you know, from my office to pastry was like, you know, 40-second walk, brisk walk, right? We still didn't have enough room. I think when we used to do the fridge temperatures in the morning, I think there were 80 fridges that needed temp checking. And I remember an auditor saying to me, I want you to go round and put the probe into every single bottle of water when you take the temperatures, all right? I was like, all right, come with me. 2 hours later, 2 hours later we got back. It's like, can you see why we just write them down? Happy days. Can't wait to airbrush the walls by. No, don't worry about airbrushing the walls. What you don't want to do is, you know, the splatter technique. You know, the thing that I posted during the week or last week with the brush. Yeah, don't do the brush. Do the one with the stick, right? If you've got a nice new workshop and you're using a brush, you're going to be cleaning the whole street down, and you all know it. And I posted that, and some people said, "Oh, just use your air." No, dip your little thing in, and then spray air across it. You won't mess. You'll leave your brush clean, and you won't have as much mess. And any drips that land on your silicone mat, you can just scoop those up and put them back into your tub, right? Don't airbrush the walls with cocoa butter. Cocoa butter is the worst thing in the world to clean off walls. I spilt lime shine all down here because we got this new one. I got this new one, and I put a tub up on the top, and I pushed it over that way. And it was a full tub. It was one of those, full of lime shine. Over the sides you go. Tried to run away and save itself. It's not easy to clean up, guys. It's not. Lime shine's beautiful. It's a beautiful colour, but not when it's on the walls. It's not good. It's not cool at all. Your fruit caramel without chocolate, will it take the ash in it? I don't know if I don't know. I think yes, it will. It depends, Stuart. It depends. Yeah. Will the fruit caramel, your fruit caramel without chocolate, will it take the ash in it? Yes, it will, but you'd need the chocolate to thicken the caramel so it's all suspended. Because the ash it's not heavy, but you don't want it. What you want to do is get it to just before setting point before you pipe it, right? But yeah, you can put the lemon ash or orange ash into anything that you want. It's a fine powder, so it will suspend. I don't know if I put it into a very runny caramel. I'd look at something that's a little bit thicker, and we use chocolate to thicken things. Susie Floozy's there. Susie gave me some good news today. I won't share that, but Susie told me some interesting news today. She's very excited. So I'll be sitting in front of hundreds tomorrow. Demo London XL, not chocolate though. Oh, Paul, what are you demoing then if you're not doing chocolate? Paul, are you going to share with us what you're doing? I'm trying to read all that. Curried peanut crunch sounds fantastic. Who's making peanut curried crunch? Who's doing that? Did I miss something? Looking forward to tomorrow. Looking forward to tomorrow. Off to London for training on judging with the OC. Okay. Nice deal that. Judging's good fun. I think you just need to. The tough thing about judging, having done lots around the world, is with my fellow judges, there are some that will stand and talk to people afterwards, and I think that's a prerequisite. I think that if you're going to sit and judge somebody's work and they're there, you need to seek them out or get them to come and see you so you can explain the points and how it would get better. I really dislike these panels of chefs that sit, judge, and then they won't talk to the chefs afterwards. I think that's an absolute lost opportunity to help develop somebody. So, Kerry, whatever you're doing, if you're judging and you know the students or whoever's there, go and explain your theories on why you gave it such and such marks. I think that's a really valid thing with judging. I think there's too many, and the stuff that I do is with WAC, so it's the World Association of Chef Societies. So, and we're graded, but that sounds like it's fun. I'm just reading through these. Did I miss a post here? Stuart works in a shop. I thought he worked in a pub. Oh, Aaron, that's a low blow, isn't it? Oh, and it's not even 8:45, and you've all started. I don't. Do you know? I was chatting to Jack Ralph this week. I was chatting to Jack about some things, and I won't name the supplier, but we have this theory that in have anybody ever had a delivery and it's like the tiniest little thing, but it's in a box this big, filled with paper. But there is a particular supplier here in the UK, and I'm sure there is somebody that works in the packaging area that just shouts like, fill it with paper, fill the boxes. You could have like just one bottle of cocoa butter and there's like a forest worth of paper that goes in there, and this massive box turns up and you have to pull everything out. I'm literally stood here going, what do I do with all this paper? It's like the girls don't want it. They don't want to draw on it because it's not nice paper. I don't know. Do you know, we do all this business and it's like you learn, but nobody's actually said, like, this is how you deal with all the packaging that you get from the deliveries, right? Because there's days when there's just more cardboard boxes in the house. And, you know, you can send it to recycling, yeah? And then it's back that afternoon, isn't it? So, you will ease the shelf next week. Paul, you better hurry up because this stuff's going quicker than I can make it at the minute. So, yeah, we've got plenty in stock. So we've got plenty in stock. There's some funny comments here. Is Leanne there? Colorado Cocoa Pot. Is Leanne there? I didn't see her. I'm just scrolling by. I'm trying to read it. Maggie suffered this last week. It's hard to read the comments and answer the comments and then see what's coming up. So I'm just like on the back foot. Let's have a chocolate off. I thought about doing not a bonbon challenge, not like Leanne did at Colorado Cocoa Pod. But yeah, I'm thinking of doing like a chocolate bonbon off, right? With a prize. So just bear with me because I'm thinking about how we could do that. Phil Bates is here. Hiya. Who else is here? Chocolates by C. Hello. Pogballs has joined us. God, we've got people from all over the world tonight. We've got just literally all over the world. We've got Australia's joined us. And it's very early tomorrow morning there, isn't it? Pogballs, actually. So this is Karen, and she runs a huge business, absolutely gigantic. If you don't know Pogballs, go and have a look. Absolutely incredible business, absolutely huge as well. Happy days. So, Paul, are you doing bread then? Are you doing bread as a demo? So, Mad Chocolate, sneaking on. Have you got, Jennifer, have you got anything you need to tell me? Any news yet, Mad Chocolates? I'm waiting for the email. So you can tell me we are thumbs up or just let me know what's going on. But if you're at work, you should be at work. You can't be joining Chocky Chat and be doing work. You can do what you want. Happy days. Yeah, Kerry, I guess, yeah, I don't know, you know what, the judging thing's ruled. So the president of Wax is a guy called Thomas Kugler, a really, really good friend of mine. So all the chef societies in the world, he's the president. Big cheese when it comes to food. And we had a very heated argument over this because there were judges that weren't contributing to the development of youngsters, right? And for people that compete and people that go into for these competitions, one of the few measures we have as to whether we're doing well is competition work. The other is food awards, so Michelin Guide, AA, all that kind of thing. But they tend to be about the establishment rather than the individual. So for youngsters on their way up, these competitions, and whether it's Good Food Guide, whether it's any of those bits and pieces, even some of the chocolate worlds with the Great Taste Awards, it's one of those measures as to where am I in industry and how am I doing. I think what has to happen is the chefs that sit down and arrogantly judge need to actually face their conviction of what they're saying and do the feedback. Because I don't believe you can just judge something and walk away. You need to be able to say it. So I'm happy, Kerry, to read that that's actually a formula that they're doing. Because if I go back a couple of years, I had some major... I don't mind getting in an argument. Don't bother me. I will stand my ground. But we need to be developing each other. And we need to be developing youngsters in particular. Especially if they've shown the tenacity to enter something or seek advice. Because we all assume that learning is free out there for them, and it's not. It's quite hard for them to tap into that. Candied curried peanuts in a curry peanut butter filling with foulatine crunch layer. Is that what you did, JC? Yeah, that sounds like it will work if you pick the right spice. If you don't pick the right spice, that could be quite offensive. So I think you need to, I think curry, I like curry. I think it goes with white chocolate. I think it goes with gold chocolate better than it does white chocolate. I wouldn't put it near dark chocolate or a heavy milk chocolate either. So happy days, Cocoa Lab, who else we got? If I get bubble wrap, I use it to lay my sugar flowers on. Yeah, Mother Baker, but do you know what? Some of us get sent so much packaging. I could open another business just on packaging, based on what they send me. I'm sure there's somebody there that's like, no, get everything out of the building and put it in that box and send it. So, yeah, you all know what I'm talking about. So, Paul, you're on stage doing bread. Happy days. That's a good idea. I fold the paper and give it to Charity Top for them to use. They're always very happy. Happy days. Hi, Leanne at Colorado Cocoa Pod. I haven't spoken to you for ages, but you post some really, really, really fab Halloween stuff. I absolutely adore your Halloween stuff. I really, really do. The chocolate chopped challenge. Do it. Leanne, are you gonna start one? Leanne, I'm going to invite you on here to Chocky Chat one night if you can, because I think you should give us all an update. What you're doing. Like you do some amazing stuff right now, and I'd like to. Maggie was on last week, and I am going to line some more guests up to come in as well and have a chat. So, yeah, the chocolate chopped challenge. Maybe I'll talk to Leanne and see whether I take that on. I don't mind. I'm not going to lie. I'm biting off a little bit more than I can chew some weeks. So, CFO approved. Right. So Jennifer at Mad Chocolates, ping me an email, and then we need a plan of how we're going to start. So this is another business on their journey. Happy days, all the way out there in San Francisco. So, I have exciting news. Going to walk the cocoa trees on my friend's estate. Nice. Take photos, please. Can't find. You know what you can't find here? Where I do demos, I'm looking for a cocoa pod, as in a plastic one that I could split open and I could show school children, and I can't find one anywhere. And you can't find fresh ones to cut in half and dry either. So if anybody's got any leads, or anybody has an old cocoa pod like the old plastic demo ones, I would really like to have one. I do a lot of talks at schools, because when you go to schools and you say to children, where does chocolate come from? They're like, the shop. They have no idea that it grows on a tree. So I do a huge amount of things behind the scenes. I'm absolutely immersed in helping young people develop and showing the food industry off to young people, because it is an option. It is an option, and even if you go to university, at some point you're going to be involved in hospitality or food or production or one of those things. But I'm always looking for things that I can take into schools where I do a talk or a demo, and I just can't find these pods anywhere. And I've Googled and Googled and Googled, and I can't find it. So if anybody's got any links, let me know, because I'll buy it off you. You go into Ecuador in January. Happy days. So, right, Mad Chocolates, Jennifer, your secret's out. Yeah, Jennifer's applied for a cottage food license. We've gone through all that. It's very complicated. We got there. Oh, she got there, I should say. So yeah, on with the journey. Absolutely on with the journey. So Paul's doing 3 bread demos. They always want me to do bread. Love to do chocolate one next year. Need to convince them. Paul, share your passion. Actually, just tell them what you're doing. I'm going to do bread and I'm going to mix it with chocolate, and that's how you know. Linda St. James, is there any disadvantage to making shells but waiting a week or 2 to fill them and cap them? So Linda, no, I would never do that. Shells move. Okay, I've got these which have retracted. All right, well, most of them have. That one hasn't. If I leave them in there, they're going to expand, and there's a danger that they'd sink back in. When they retract, it's the humidity that makes them expand and contract, and chocolate does that like massively. And the more humid it gets, the more it's going to sink back into the mould. You can paint them. So you can paint them and you can store them and you can have them up on the side and they'll last there months of pride. They're protected and they're dry and away from humidity. So in a sealed container. So they'll last a long, long time. As soon as you shell them, you want them to retract and you want to fill them. I've had people come down for a hands-on class and they've made the shells. They've not left them in this. They've brought the mould down separately and put the shells into boxes, right? When we've got here, they don't fit back in. And when I say they don't fit back in, they don't fit flush, okay? And the problem with that is that you can get them to go in, you can fill them, and when you go to cap them, you end up smashing all the edges, and you get what looks like Cadbury's flake all down your chocolates, and it's a little bit of a mess. I would never shell and leave them. You really, once they've retracted, you want to be filling them as soon as you can, and then capping them as soon as you can. Chocolate contracts and expands based on humidity and a little bit of temperature, but it's more humidity that makes it do that. They can sink back in, Linda. It's not something I would promote to do. The hardest bit is the design phase. That's the longest bit, isn't it? The design phase. The shelling shouldn't be that difficult or long-winded. So, and if you've got your fillings made, you're into the mechanical process. So the artistic process is the painting. Take your time with that. The next bit is shelling. It's mechanical. Just going through that routine, shelling them, tapping it out. The next bit is you fill them and then you're leaving them to crystallize or dry or firm up. That doesn't necessarily need to be overnight. You can put, like I've got here, show you. That's a rose and pistachio. So that's those ones there. Once I put that in, I gave that 10 minutes in the fridge just to give it a blast of cold air, just to get that setting, just so that I can get a smoother layer, right? So once it's found its level, if I leave that overnight, chances are it will sink, right? And what I want it to do is just set flush. Right in the middle of that one, I make what's called pistachio dough. So it's a little bit like a pastry. So I make a dough and I roll it into tiny balls. We fill it with the rose and pistachio, which is a ganache, and it has a little bit of caramel in there as well. And then we drop this little round ball of pistachio dough done with rose water, and then we fill up that other layer. So right in the very, very centre of it is a little round ball of just pure pistachio paste, but it's a dough slightly sweetened with rose water. So when I add the rose water to the paste, it seizes it, and it seizes it enough so that I can roll it into a paste ball. Does that make sense to everybody? I think I'm going to get some questions about that one, aren't I? I do the same thing with walnut. We make a walnut dough. Anybody that does the Melange class will know about that one, because I talk about that one. But I wouldn't make shells and store them in there. You know, if it's very, very dry and you've got good air conditioning, yeah, they might last 2 weeks, but I think there's always a danger that they creep above that surface, so that actually when you go to cap them, you shatter all the edges off, and that's heartbreaking when that happens. So will I do a class for shelling and capping soon? I did shelling and capping. I did this month. What's left this month? On Sunday there's the airbrush class. The first class was really, really, really overly busy, right? Because people have booked and then went, oh, can I do that one? The one this Sunday, I think there's 2 spaces left for that one, and then the other one is on Tuesday. I may well do a shells and capping. I've been asked for 2. One was the cocoa butter class, and the other was the shell, and I may well run one a month. And what I'm going to do in conjunction with these is run the cocoa butter class once a month, and if people want to join that, they can, because once you understand what's happening with the cocoa butter and how it behaves, it makes it a lot easier. And anybody that's done that, anybody that did that cocoa butter class will know what I'm talking about, because I get dozens of messages saying, oh my god, you've changed what I do. So none of it's difficult, but I may well run. I wasn't going to do anything in November because I'm maxed out at the moment, and Christmas is going to be on us before you know it. Yes, it is. What else have we got? Happy days. So all approved, all was good. Jennifer, that's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, definitely got into arguments in taste and flavours in the past with other judges. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've been there. Been there. I'm in the AA's Hall of Fame for blind tasting. I got 97 tastes out of the 100. And I think Marcus Waring was above me. And it was a blind taste, 100 items, and you had to get them right. So 97 I got. Trust me, James, it works. Happy days. Yeah, I can imagine it works. Jason, I think I like spice. I love spices. I have a real connection with the Middle East. I understand spices incredibly, and a lot of my chef friends around the world, you know, spice. People just use them wrong. And if you, like with so many things, if you just learn how to use them, you can get more from them. And when you start blending them, you get some incredible flavour combinations rather than just like a bit of this, bit of that. Certain things work with other things. And an example is, if you ever use cumin, somebody call it cumin, but it's not, it's cumin. If you ever use cumin, if you put lemon with it, it'll taste better. Always put lemon. Where there is cumin, put lemon. Whether it's zest or juice, it will work. So, James, can the Thermapen needle be calibrated? I'm not sure if mine is still accurate. Either that or I've lost the ability to temper by hand. Paula, bring that one down with you. Yes, I can calibrate it, but it's not an easy process. But bring that Thermapen down with you, and we'll have a look. I got so you know the competition for Thermapen for the blue, the midnight blue, and I said enter the competition. It's really good, but don't tag me. And then everybody tagged me in it because I already had one, and that's the midnight blue one. That's the midnight blue one that goes with the midnight blue. We got one here with the midnight blue cocoa butter. They can be recalibrated, but I'd need to check it first before I do that. So, and I'm not qualified to do that. My very, very good friends and pals at Thermapen would do that. There is a resource to send it in, and they will just give it a quick overhaul. So, Paula, bring that one down with you on your hands-on class, and I'll have a look and we'll sort it out. So, Leanne, you can send me packaging. I just use it to reship. Yeah, I use it. I just can't use enough of it. I don't know. I think there's a supplier that goes, oh look, there's an order from James there. Let's put a whole forest worth of paper in there, and let's throw some bubble wrap as well, and fill the box. So what else we got? So all right. So Jennifer's saying, I think I agonised over. So this is to do with the cottage food licence, right? And Jennifer did a lesson, and I said, "Why you've got all this stuff? You make all these amazing things. Why aren't you selling it?" She's like, "I'm not sure I want to." I've said this message a few times, and I'm going to say this again because I know there's people out there listening, and you'll be wondering if I'm talking to you. I am talking to you. Our imagination is always so much worse than reality, and for starting a new business is scary. It is scary because you have lots of what ifs, and what if the ganaches aren't good? What if my designs aren't good? What if the public don't like it? I could look at stuff that I made a year ago and go, oh God, what was I thinking, right? It changes, it moves. I think what you have to do is go for it and understand that there is some support, okay? Sometimes support you have to buy in with lessons and bits and pieces. Sometimes the support is just this little channel connecting with some of the amazing people that are in this Chocy Chat crew. If you really want to start a business in chocolate, go for it. Nothing bad is going to happen. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. You know, you can't do everything. You can do some of it. There are days when it goes wrong, there are days when it goes right. What you do need is to have that network of people where you can, like with this little Chocy Chat crew on Friday night, you'll talk to each other. I know you will talk to each other because you've all kind of become friends over the year. If you're thinking of starting a business and you really want to do this, stop waiting. Book a class. Come book a class. come and join the Chocy chat. All the information's there. There's lots of stuff here. Some of the comments, if you join this live, you'll see all the comments. And there's some incredible information shared here throughout the night. And Maggie and I were talking about this last week, that there's all this information. There is what I'm talking about, and there's me answering questions, and then within it, there's all these other layers of information that people are sharing. All right. If you're thinking of starting a business, you don't need all this fab kit. You don't. Eventually, you'll need to invest. But to start with, and I've got students that have got a plastic bowl, a stirrer, and a thermopen, right, and a couple of moulds, really, really cheap moulds. But they're making chocolates. They're getting them into boxes, and they're growing, and they're getting better. And I'll give you an example of somebody who does absolutely amazing now, is Charity. And I don't know if Charity's here now, but our very first lesson, she's literally like, I've got a bowl and a stirrer, and it's like, that's fine, that's because that's where we should. I've worked in 3 Michelin star kitchens. We didn't have grills, we didn't have anything. We had one baking tray that we just covered with foil, ripped it off and started again. If you're worried about starting, nothing bad's going to happen. There are some hurdles, there are some things that you need to get better at, but you've got to just commit to it, because nothing bad's going to happen. You just got to go for it. And if you're sat there thinking, oh, that's me, you're who I'm talking to. It's going to be, if all of you do a better job in chocolate, it's going to be better for all of us. The equipment is going to get better. What we demand from suppliers is going to get better. It's actually all going to be good. So, you can buy some gorgeous wooden sculptures. No, I don't want wooden sculptures. I want to be able to open them up to show school children what it looks like. You know how alien cocoa pods are when you open them up? And anybody that's ever opened one fresh, how you kind of like, wow, it's quite acidy. I can't do that, but I'd like to be able to show kids. I normally have pictures, but I'd love to be able to show school kids. This is what chocolate starts off like, right? When you love to meet the person that had the tenacity and the persistence to realise that this thing that's dropped on the forest floor, it's like, well, I'll make a drink out of that. Or better still, they've looked at it and gone, I'm going to turn this into something that the whole world in the future will fall in love with, right? And there'll be Chocy chats just dedicated to this thing that I found. How we got to chocolate from these pods, it's an absolutely incredible story, but I'd love to be able to show kids that, because when I walk into schools and I tip chocolate out and do chocolate rain and they just fall apart, as do the teachers, I would love to just be able to have a little bit more stuff to show them. So, yeah, get somebody to 3D print it. Wouldn't even know where to start with that, Stuart. Just wouldn't know at all. So, I can't get cocoa pods here. I probably could. Trying to get the Premier Melange, but can't really find a seller that looks trustworthy on Amazon. Is there... Rudrash Exports from India, another seller who only has one product on their list. I don't know what to suggest there. You're in Hungary. I mean, essentially, the Refiners, the Premier, it's an Indian brand anyway. I like that one because you can get the spare parts for it. And I've learnt over the years that you can buy some things cheap and you can buy some things reasonable, but when you can't get spares for them, it ends up being bloody expensive because you've got to buy another one. So, I don't know. AD Chocolate, can you send me that link to that? Can you, yeah, I can't download the link there. Can you send me a message for that link, Joachim or Sophia? If that's for a cocoa pod, because I'd love to be able to. Hi James, might have a pod mould I can send you down. I'll check and let you know Monday. Yeah, happy days, mate. I'd like to find something. I'd just like to find something that I could, I could manufacture it from chocolate to show them. But trust me, I go into these schools and say to kids like, "Where's chocolate come from?" And they have no idea that they haven't even heard of a cocoa pod, right? They know what a PS5 is. Do you know, they know what an iPhone 14 working could do, but like, you know, everyday stuff. I got the girls lobster yesterday and it was live. I'll share the video. I bought them a lobster because we're foodies, right? And the screams and the I don't know if that is a good thing, right? Because we bought a whole sea bass. We were in town, Randy and I were in town, and we bought a whole lobster. And when we got home, they're like, so we cooked this thing, we prepped it, and we did the right thing. And I explained to them, like, it's alive and now it's not. And today she's like, am I having lobster for lunch? What? What do you mean you're having lobster for lunch? I've only ever brought one home once. Now she thinks, oh, I just have lobster for lunch, Dad. Yeah, can you make tortellinis with it? Yeah, I'll just stop everything I'm doing and make you tortellinis, sweetheart. My daughter used to do workshops in schools about the Aztecs and got all her materials, including the cocoa pod. I'm going there in November in Colombia next year. I'll try to get you one. Yeah, do you know, I would. If anybody can help me out with that, I think it'd be nice for school children. My passion is food. My passion's food. But I've had an incredible career. I've done things that most people, their jaws drop when they find out the people that I've cooked for, and I'm very lucky. And I've been honoured. It's been a real honour to have held some of the positions I've held. But the passion that I've always had in the background is watching these youngsters develop and identifying these people, because I just think food's a wonderful industry. Once you get into it, they are very, very good people when you get into the right place with the right like-minded people. So anything that can help me spread the word that chocolate's a good industry, patisserie is a good industry, and food is a good industry is always a good thing. And I never say no. I'm never so busy that I can't make time to go and help or help somebody develop ever. So don't get me wrong. Somebody sends me a million questions, be like, wait, that's a lesson. By the way, Storybots has a nice episode on chocolate and cocoa plants. Really cool show for kids on Netflix. Absolutely. So Jennifer and Jason, I said, I did say, Jennifer, I did say make contact with Jason. He'll give you a shout. And Jason, if you could look after Jennifer at Mad Chocolates until she gets up and going, mate, I'd appreciate that. You know what I'm talking about, buddy. We help people. That's the rules, right? You get to a certain point as a chef, and your job is to help people. And don't ever worry about competition. Don't ever worry about competition. We're all pre-programmed to worry about. Don't worry about competition. You're not sharing the same customers. Your own customers probably don't know each other exists. It will get better if we help people. It will. Happy days. Erin, you're at the Sunday class. It's 5 a.m. I know. Do you know what happened with the classes? So a couple of people said, can you do them at different times? Because if I do them earlier in the day, they're good for people that are on the East, right? So Middle East and Asia. And then everybody in the US didn't book the later one. They booked the earlier one. I don't know. So, yeah, 5 a.m. And no, it's not recorded. I don't do recorded classes because they get shared within minutes of the class being sold. So Nick's there at the Chocolate Pig. He's doing errands tonight. How you start with the colour project? I don't understand what you mean by that, Chef Salah. I don't know. A lovely spice Christmas ganache is spice. Christmas is spice, right? This time of year, autumn, it's spice, isn't it? So, Chef James receiving cocoa butters on Monday. That's pretty fast. Thanks for cleaning up the shipping situation. Absolutely welcome. Yeah. All of us go through these learning curves, and it's like, you know, I don't believe ever for a minute that I've mastered anything. I don't. I'm not that way inclined. I was working for Royal Families, and I was age 23, and then I was like, yeah, I'm the best chef, and I moved to another kitchen, and it's like, I know absolutely nothing, and I started again, and that's been my life from working in Thailand and Africa and all around the Middle East, all around the world. It's like you move somewhere else. But there is one thing that I never anticipated, and it's like the logistics around shipping. What amount of time that we spent this week talking to couriers. Yeah, I'll never get that time back either. And if anybody ships internationally, you will know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's complicated. We got there, but it is complicated. So, happy days. If Leanne is still there at Colorado Cocoa Pod, I might give you a buzz a little bit later if that's all right. I might hijack your, with your permission, I might hijack that thing that you were doing. So, Susan, I'm looking forward to trying out your cocoa butters this weekend. You shipped them on September 29th, and I could pick them up yesterday at the local post office, as they refused to deliver them to my house. I don't know. I don't know what it is about German Post. I don't know what it is about the German Post. I guess it's got to fit in the letterbox, and if it doesn't fit in the letterbox, that's it. So, yeah, Suzanne, I'm really sorry about that. It's totally out of my control. But I saw that they were delivered. I just don't understand. Some countries will just hold stuff for ages. Others, it's shipped there really, really, you know, it's door to door in 3 days. I don't get it. I don't get it. It just doesn't seem to be a common thing. I can tell you there are a couple of countries that are really awkward. One is Holland and the other is Germany. And that's nothing against them personally, but the post systems just seem to be, I don't know, they land in country within 48 hours and then they just sit there. And there's nothing I can do about that. And it doesn't matter whether I send it via courier or via Royal Mail, same situation. So, and then there's other countries where it's like literally there in 2 days. I don't know. Shipping is but Suzanne, thank you for buying, and I'm looking for tag me in anything you make. So, Maggie saying, really is the best community. Everyone starts somewhere. There is lots of help. Be careful what help you buy. Be careful what lessons you get. This is not me self-promoting me. There are some bandits that will rip you off in chocolate, and I'm seeing, you know, and I've heard of some not nice stories recently of people paying many thousands for mentorships and nothing's really come out of it. Do mentorships with people that are actually making chocolates, not shells. Like I could quite easily make a massive business. Just these aren't retracted yet. I could quite easily make a massive business just posting shells with no filling. I'm busy making chocolates, endlessly making chocolates. And if I'm not making chocolates, I'm making butters. And if I'm not doing butters, I'm teaching, because I'm truly immersed in it and I know what I'm doing. I am hands-on. I don't make shells. I don't go look at this lovely little pretty picture. The stuff that I post is stuff that you can actually, I'm going to sentence enhance now. The stuff that I post is the stuff that you can actually fucking eat, right? I make stuff. So please, if you're starting off with and you're looking for lessons, just be very clear. If you sign up for mentorships, you need to be crystal clear what it is that you're paying for. And if it's in the regions of thousands, send me a message first and I'll quite happily have a look at the content of it to see whether you're getting value for money, because I can't abide by people being ripped off with people that aren't professional chocolatiers doing lessons and they have nothing to rely on in terms of their background, right? If somebody, you know, it's easy. I can open a book and copy lessons and copy recipes and go, yeah, there you go, have my lessons. My recipes are the ones that I use. That one is a recipe you get, you know, the pralines, the melange work, all that. It's stuff that I do. That's what I teach. I make stuff. There's a lot of lessons going around, not even bloody chocolatiers, and it boils my blood. I don't like seeing people ripped off, and I don't like seeing people at the beginning of their careers get mishandled and then make a bucket load of mistakes, and then we're in month 12 before I get them and we've got to unravel it and fix it, because it's not difficult, this stuff. It's really not difficult. It is wholeheartedly a beautiful community, chocolate, but I've seen some stuff creeping in that I don't like. You know what I was going to talk to you today as well about? Tonka bean. Where have I put them? Where did I put the tonka beans? Everybody use tonka beans. I saw a couple of posts this week about tonka bean, and it said to crack the tonka beans, that for anybody in the US you're not allowed them. It's to do with an enzyme that's in a tonka bean. It's from a study that I think in America there's like an underground, I think it's SD market of tonka bean. Smells like vanilla, toffee notes, very, very nice. They're these tiny little dried beans. There's a lot of recipes that say like just chop them in half, put them in the cream, bring them to the boil. Don't do that. They're tiny. Where are they? Where are they? They're tiny, and all you need to do is, I haven't got them here. All you have to do, where have they gone? I'll put them down somewhere and I can't find them. They're, where have they gone? No, they're not there. They're tiny little beans. If you've got a microplane, grate them. Treat them like you would nutmeg. Treat them like you would a dried that you would grate into a fine powder. And then put that into the cream, bring it up to the boil and make your ganache that way, right? If you just crack them in half, you're not going to get as much flavour out of them. You need to grate them, and you need to, on a microplane. It's just the finest grater that you've got. Watch your fingers, because they're very brittle. They should be very brittle. If they're bendy and soft, don't use them. They should be rock hard dry. Just grate them and treat them like you would any like nutmeg or mace or any hard herb, right? So talking of Charity, Charity's here. Charity, I was just talking about you. Your ears should have been burning, but I was saying that you don't need all the amazing equipment. You know, you started, Charity would agree with this, you start with a bowl, and we started with seeding, and it's grown from there. And now she's got some more molds, she's got some more, she's invested and posting some amazing stuff. And she's in Zambia, and I kid you not, the conditions to do chocolate are not ideal where she is, and she's getting it done. So it's not about having all the tricksy equipment, it's about having good technique. Recipes change, technique doesn't. None of this is difficult or complicated. As you get better and as your volumes get better, you'd need to invest, and you'd need to buy a bit more to make it easier, to make it not less, so you're not stood in your kitchen at 1 a.m. piping fillings, because I know you've all been there. I have as well. You need a good thermometer. You need good chocolate that you can afford, that your customers would want to buy. If you go straight in with Valrhona, you might ostracise your local market. So be reasonable with it. Your fillings don't need to be as complicated as you imagine. There is still nothing wrong with just doing a milk chocolate ganache. Nothing wrong with that at all. You can change those flavours and formulas and structures, right? So it's all good. Grumpy Chocolatier. If anybody saw the post that I did of the eyeball early in the week, that's the Grumpy Chocolatier, and she's just joined us there. I don't know if I asked her this. You're not a grumpy chocolatier at all. So never be afraid to try new things. Absolument. I'm fully confident in my ability to make good tasting, pretty stuff, but just worried about how this country will react to it. Zara, all you can do is make it and go, there will be something. Chocolate sells, right? People like Jules. People see these, right? People see these and go, I want to have some. Especially when they're like lovely, glass, shiny, like those, right? People like them. It sells. It sells. Chocolate sells. Chocolate sells itself, right? You just need to treat it respectfully. Don't make it too complicated. You can have the old curveball recipe in there if you want to, but if it's all too a little bit weird, you're not always going to get away with that. You might not get no return. So Dundee cake. I like Dundee cake. There's nothing wrong with butter on Dundee cakes. Nice. I'm looking forward to trying out your cocoa butters. Happy days. Read that one. Read that one. Wow, that's okay. I'm reading that one. So you wouldn't believe how pessimistic the whole country is. They even acknowledge it. My HACCP consultant told me in the first 5 minutes she had a client like me who went bankrupt. That's not the way to start a meeting, is it? Be positive. Do you know what? I have this thing. I've said this on here before. You know, the moment it turns negative, I'm busy. I'm gone. Bye. I just don't. I just don't. Yeah, I think, I think you need to go for it in Hungary. I think you just need to go for it and make them and keep, don't make your fillings complicated and try and keep your prices down and you'll grow. You can't go in at maximum price. You just got to build up to that, right? And it's not putting your prices up, it's putting the quality up. And when you put the quality up, the price will reflect that. And that's the message. Whilst everybody goes, oh, it's dangerous to put your prices up. Well, we're putting the quality up, not the prices. I worked in restaurants. We put the prices up based on better ingredients. The customers recognised it instantly. Nothing bad happened. So we're all pre-programmed to think sell, 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 sell. We're not. Just think quality. Quality, quality, quality. Charity, you're going to start doing Christmas cakes. Charity's taking on the whole of East Africa, aren't you? Happy days. Some lovely comments on here tonight. Mother Baker, your kitchen looked like a bomb had gone off. Should have seen what I had stuff jump off the table today. Lots of things jump off the table. So, James, what's the reason behind the ganache can't be frozen in airtight trays for later days? I mean, I make large batches with variation flavours and put them in the freezer and warm them. There's not a problem with that. And you can make ganache in advance, but you need to warm it and make sure it's fully emulsified again. But the shelf life of that will be where you started, okay, because it's got the amount of water content. The problem with freezing ganache is if that water's not fully bound up, we get ice crystals build up. And when ice crystals build up, when you try to rewarm it, it seizes, so you end up with this big ball of dough, right? So caramels you don't need to freeze, got a good shelf life. Pralines, gandusias, you don't really need to freeze because again they've got no water, so they've an extended shelf life. I wouldn't necessarily freeze ganache. I would chill it and then warm it, but I don't know if I'd freeze ganache outside of a shell. I don't think there is a hygiene risk to it because when it goes in and out, there's a danger of introducing new bacteria from tongs and spoons and bowls and what have you. Having said that, I think the risk is really the ice crystal build up because ganache has water, and if it's not bound up properly and you get water crystals in there, you know yourselves, a tiny pin drop of water in chocolate, the whole thing seizes. So it ends up being an absolute nightmare. So I need to scroll through some. We're really behind in this is how I said to I caught up with Maggie during the week. I said it's impossible, isn't it, to sit here and read them and answer them. So hard. Right, Emma at ECS Chocolates. James, I'm wondering why moulds with angular lines are not as popular. They're subject to more issues when shelled. Yes and no. I'll show you one here. Two things with moulds like that, right? Two things with moulds like that. When we've got domes, it's all retracting in one direction, right? So like with this one, it's all retracting in one direction. So it's literally just retracting outwards, right? With this one, on each corner, it's retracting in 3 different directions. So when we spray the cocoa butter, it tends to pool in the corners, so you end up with a thicker layer. Now to combat that, and if your chocolate's not warm enough, when you turn them out, you end up with holes in all the corners. That's one of the problems. The other thing is that when it retracts, you need to do a slightly thicker layer of chocolate so there is more strength for it to pull out. If you think of beta crystals like the skeleton, okay? The other thing is this. These are a nightmare to clean. And the sharper that angle, and Nadia uses the one, they're very angled, and I'm sure she'd be the first one to say the only way to get into the corners is like alcohol, Q-tip, buff away. I don't use many that got sharp corners. They don't fit in packaging. They're a nightmare to clean afterwards and polish. and also I just know that I need to get it to retract properly. I just need to do a thicker layer of chocolate, and that's just kind of not good business sense, that. So I think they're the downfalls. I mean, more than anything, they're just a bloody nightmare to clean. That's it. You know, if you're doing a few for photographs or for PR or for marketing or to share on your channel, brilliant. When you're trying to produce stuff day in, day out, when you come to clean them, you'll thank me later, right? So happy days. I'm trying to scroll through. I'm trying to scroll through for pictures. Oh, Alan Dunn. I know Alan Dunn. Alan Dunn is just the most. He's the most down to earth guy on sugar work. He's the most down to, and he's, you know, he's obsessed with helping people develop. Right. That's what it's about. That is what it's all about. Right, what time is it, guys? Is it that time? Have I missed a load of... okay, sorry, I'm just scanning through. Charity says, no cakes. Cakes are the next level. I'm sticking to cookies and chocolates. Yeah, right, Charity. I bet Charity posts something with cakes next week. I guarantee Charity will post something with cakes next week. Go, oh, look what I just rustled up. Love it. I'm just scrolling through. You can freeze bonbons you filled with ganache though. You can freeze bonbons that have got ganache in because they're sealed, and we're not necessarily going to have as much ice crystal build up or frosting as well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see an advantage of making ganache and freezing it. I see an advantage of making ganache, chilling it, and then re-emulsifying it. But I don't know why you would freeze it and then defrost it and then fill. It's like, how big an amount are you making? You want to make it as fresh as you can. And the fresher you make it, the easier it is to pipe by a long way. Mr. Jack Ralph's joined us. Hello, mate. Jack, I was just telling them the story about the packaging. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Nadia said it there. The angular moulds are challenging. Nadia, you said that so eloquently without sentence enhancing. So, happy days. Jack saying he's not bothered by the... Jack, if you had to polish angular moulds, mate, you'd be high. Your workforce would be massive. Not going to touch though. Don't touch. No, don't do. Look, they're lovely, and it's worth having a few to do posts and to do some creative things, because you get a nice flat surface, and it's good for shine. It's good for reflection. It's good to do some nice designs and do something a little bit different. But you'll spend more time cleaning them than you did making the chocolates for them. So I like them. The only square angular mould I have is that one. There is, I use these ones for teaching. Where have they gone? Right, I've got, here we go, where are we? Oh, there it is. No, that's just been my day today, that. You have these, I've got these from Eco Baker, right? So these are the curved ones. I love this mould, I do the bars, it's absolutely amazing, right? I've got this one that's the straight one, and I've used it once. And when I have students, they're like, can we make something that's like, no, it doesn't work, oh, it's got scratches, oh, no, we can't do that. Because I don't want to sit here with like a cotton bud, like, it's doing all the edges. So the curved one, beautiful. The straight edged one, no. No. Nobody needs to sit that long. It's like going back to doing seeding and stirring, right? You stir for another few hours, and then you go, God, it's got to be an easy way to do that. Oh, I'll get some micro. and then you go, oh, it's a bit more stirring. It's like, do you know what? I'll buy silk. That's that's how we scale up. So right, any recommendation of best places to look at for packaging? Currently use Keylink. Yeah, Nathan, look at I use Meridian packaging. I use Meridian because they seem to have the volume of stock that I need for what I do, within reason. But yeah, Meridian. Other than that, is getting bespoke stuff done. Can you explain how to make the crunchy layer with the fouilletine, which you can pipe? Yeah, you want to have this stuff. It's called fouilletine. It's a pastry. I bet that's back to front on there. Fouilletine, yeah, that's used by the 10th of the 9th, 23. You want to, they come as quite big flakes, right? So you just want to powder them down. And then I do 50-50. This one is here. That one is there. That's a crispy layer. That's 50% white and then 50% by weight, right? Not volume, but by weight. Melt the chocolate. I melt it to 32. I add this. I just warm this up slightly, so that I'm not putting cold fouilletine into chocolate, because then it just sets solid. So we warm this just slightly in the microwave. Not long, 10 seconds. And if that's warm, when you add it to the chocolate at 32, you have a little bit more time to pipe with. Just make sure it's below 28 when you pipe. Make sure you powder this down small enough, because it gets stuck in a piping bag. And you all know, if it gets stuck down the end of a piping bag, you just end up snipping it wider and wider and wider until you're truly, yeah, you've just got this stuff sloshing everywhere. So, happy days. Jack saying he gets somebody else to polish the moulds. Yes, mate. Jack, don't you already get somebody else to polish the moulds? Like, isn't that? Sure, that's what I saw. Jack's going to join me on here shortly as well. He doesn't know that because I've just told him. So, Jack, got to keep it honest, mate. Got to keep it honest. There's too many bullshitters in this industry already. You know the deal. So, check out Premier Packaging. I've been really happy with them and feel better quality than the ones I got from Kiwi or Meridian. Yeah, Premier Packaging I had a look at actually, so I've got to go through my stock and then I'll have a look. I like Meridian, it's good service, gets me quite quickly as well, and they seem to have the stock levels right. They didn't earlier in the year, did they? The whole world ran out of cushion pads, didn't they? Now I've put myself into a position where I don't need cushion pads, so thanks for getting back to me on me. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, Nathan, I don't know if that email should have helped. I think I was just trying to identify what happened. It's to do with local conditions, and I would suggest humidity. Humidity is, like I was doing shells today, and the morning started off all right. It's like we were at lovely 18 degrees, 50% humidity, and then it started honking with rain, and then the wind got warm, and we went to 22 degrees with 70% humidity. I'm like, you know what's going to happen now? So, Jack did polish some today. Jack, I'm going to invite you on to come and have a chat with these guys anyway. So we had some guests recently. So you did polish some today. You polished a mould today. Right, I'm going to go because it's gone 9:30. I think we've answered everything. If anybody wants to join the class on Sundays, still a few spaces. Other than that, it's Tuesday. The one on Sundays, airbrushing is at 3 o'clock. The one on Tuesdays at 3 o'clock as well. I've got lots of lessons next week. Tomorrow morning I'm going to be capping chocolates, obviously. On my stories there are links to the bits and pieces I use. They are affiliate links, just to make you aware. Those little bits will help the channel, because anything I make from that I will buy and use for demos and bits and pieces that I use on here, so it kind of all layers up like that way. Have a lovely week. If anybody gets stuck, you know where I am. Give me a shout. Everybody's well and truly into production now. You will have little gremlins, little things will go wrong. It's absolutely fine. Don't panic. Give me a shout. If I can help, I'll help, all right? I really don't. Some big professionals give me a shout sometimes to say, what can happen, dear? All I can do is give my perspective on it. So everybody have a lovely week. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for posting and tagging me in things. Be nice to everybody. Don't be afraid to all link up and follow each other and be supportive, all right? Don't worry about competition. Competition's a good thing, all right? Have an amazing weekend, have an amazing week, and I'll see you in not too long, because it will be Friday before you know it, all right? Have a good one.